leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Big shout out, salute to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-side official, no negotiation needed, period. You already know what it is, man. The first in the building, you, Mr. Gumbo, a.k.a. Hot Grease on Deck. What it do? Salute to you, brother. You know what I'm saying? Good to see you on deck again. Carlos Rosado's on deck in the building. What's good with it, Carlos? Let me share this one more again. If you're in the building, please do me a favor and finesse the share. Hit the like, whatever you choose to do. I don't want to force you into any type of situation that you're not comfortable with. But if you're supporting the channel, just go ahead and put that extra effort in there, because we got something to talk about that's going to be a little bit disturbing. And what better person to bring it to your attention than me? You know what I'm saying? Than me. You know what I'm saying? What would I be as a content creator if I didn't create content? Let me first make you aware of the news that has surfaced about the newly crowned WBC super lightweight world champion Devin Haney in his December 9th fight against Regis Prograis. Though he won that fight fair and square, news has surfaced in this shocking revelation that Devin Haney was a whopping 165 pounds. Listen to me. I didn't say pesos. I didn't say Connect 4 chips. You know what I'm saying? No, I didn't say 165 pennies. We're not talking about 165 Cheetos. We're talking about a whopping 165 pounds. The smaller Regis did not stand a chance against the Goliath. And now you have to pay attention to why, once again, Gervonta Davis was smart in the negotiation with Ryan Garcia, because these guys are growing and they trying to stay at the divisions for a long time and rehydrate up and weight bully the division. Don't nobody say it. I'll say it. I'll say it. They wanna sit up here and praise everybody else that's big. They're burly. These dudes are burly for the division. There's the boogeyman. No, they weight bullying the division, right? And then, as long as they get the win and they're a popular fighter, no one says anything. They get the therapeutic exemption. But with this particular revelation, this is just ginormous. He just moved up from 135. He was cutting down some weight. Big time, right? And kudos to his nutritionist and however they do it. Make 140. And he had to strip down to rehydrate. I guess everybody, well, majority, not everybody. Most of the dang YTC was up there freaking hand just hand delivering, Gatorade to Devin Haney. And one by one, they was all in line with they damn bottle doing their just due. You know what I'm saying? They was just standing there and they was basically feeding him, manually giving him hydration. 165 pounds. Regis fought damn near a light heavyweight. How the Halloween costumes is a lie. This dude can go ahead and look like he 140 pounds, but you trying to tell me him and Maul Charlo could have fought last night? That's what you trying to tell me? Him and Maul, him and Mel? You trying to tell me now that I really should pay attention that him moving up to 47 to face Crawford in boots, they may be against all odds too. They may be behind the curve too. Real talk. They may be behind the curve at a disadvantage, man. If Haney them has found a way to rehydrate, that's why they really ain't trying to get that Gervonta Davis fight. Because Tank and his team is too astute for this. They're not gonna allow him to rehydrate up to 165. That's why he put Ryan Garcia on a 10-pound rehydration clause. That's why, Canelo do that. They are astute at what they do. It makes sense now, right? Well, unless you're Crawford. Crawford don't really care about no rehydration. He said, come in big as you want. I'm still going to do what I do. But stand on topic. The WBC super lightweight contended almost as a light heavyweight. Jesus Christ, Holy Spirit, how art thou deceived with thy own eyes? For the devil has walked in front of me, and I didn't see him nor anyone else. I saw no evil, and the devil was right there in front of me. I said, how in the name of 165 pounds? Let me share with you, because I don't want you to think I'm just making this up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shaw News and Sauce Experience, a.k.a. Showtime Shaw. What's good? Team Tucker official on deck. Salute to you, brother. Victor on deck, I see you. Let me remove this thumbnail because I need for you to know that I didn't create this information. I didn't derive this information. Don't come on here huffing and puffing because they're sending you links. To me, no, this is the buffoonery that we talk about all the time. You know what I'm saying? It just gets bad, man. But hey, very smooth. You know what I'm saying? Very smooth. I'm gonna share with you an article on Boxing News, right? And I want you to show you their title. See, I didn't even copy their title. I didn't want to take it overboard. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to exacerbate the 165 pounds. But it says, Haney, superhuman rehydration raises alarms, y'all. WCS didn't even put those type of context. I didn't even insert that type of context into my title. I didn't want to blast. I didn't want it to seem like a sawed-off shotgun. They said casting a shadow on victory. This is what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? This is why Tank maneuvers the way he do. He understands how big he is. He understands who he's going in there with, and it's contracts for a reason, so you can avoid situations like this. You know what I'm saying? See, one thing about these rehydration clauses, they're there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? They're there for a reason, right? We have them in the contract. It's just not like it's a new thing. But for this fight, I guess the money was good, and Regis like, I don't matter, man. Just do what you want, man. Just give me the money. No rehydration clause in here. I guess he didn't watch Lomachenko's fight after Jermaine Ortiz. I don't think Regis Prograis was paying attention to that fight. Else he would have seen how big Haney looked in there with Lomachenko. And once again, that's another testament to how skillful Lomachenko is at you know what I'm saying? You gotta take it for that, you know. He's a very small fighter. He knows that. That's why you'll never hear Lomachenko talking about, I'm going up to 140. I'm going up to 47. He already knows he's too small. But check this out. It says Devin Haney reportedly, all right, rehydrated to an absurd. I love that word right there because I use it and abuse it, you know, most of the time. Absurd 165 pounds for his fight against WBC light welterweight champion Regis Prograis, making him a super middleweight. See, I didn't even say super middleweight. I just skipped over super middleweight to make it more goddamn climactic. You understand? I just skipped over super middleweight. I went right to light heavyweight, bro. I just figured to piss more people off. Making him a super middleweight Saturday night at the Chase, San Francisco, California. Well, so much for the idea of leveling the playing field. Most of the time, I'm very critical about Boxing News 24. But shout out to the author Omar Torres. Fairly fresh name. Hope he doesn't get wrapped up in all the rhetoric that goes on over here. But anyway, moving on. Said Devin Wynn was overshadowed by the reports of his enormous rehydration to 165 pounds, taking away the shine from his victory, according to Michael Benson. The California Commission reports that after, see, Michael Benson, the California Commission, don't come blaming Scotty. I know how y'all like be calling me by my government name when you get pissed. You know what I'm saying? But come on now. Michael Benson, the California Commission reports that after Haney weighed in at 140 last Friday, he rehydrated to 165 pounds on the night of the fight. Jesus Christ. Haney fought 4 divisions above the 140-pound weight class last Saturday against Prograis. These are the weight classes, okay? For those of you that may not be aware of that, 147 pounds is a division, a weight class above 140. And then there's super welterweight. And then there's middleweight and super middleweight. Okay? Depending if you want to say junior middleweight or super welterweight. Some people love putting super, some people use junior. Okay, moving on. Right? Haney, 31-0. 15 knockouts, rehydrated 25 pounds overnight, y'all. I wonder what that looked like. I wonder, can I get a hold of any of the handlers, the YTC handlers that was on deck performing this duty? Can I just get one of y'all to click the link right quick so I can get some instructions? Can I get some play-by-play? You know what I'm saying? Any one of you all that I've seen out there, is there any way can you break it down, what you had to do, how you had to do it, and how long did it take? After weighing in at 140 pounds last Friday, for his part, Prograis 29-2, 24 knockouts, who lost a one-sided 12-round unanimous decision to Devin, weighed in at 156.8 pounds. Mm, 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 mm. He didn't have a chance. He didn't have a chance. Moving on. Obviously, it's not fair to have a fighter rehydrating that much weight, and rules for the sport have to be changed to protect the fighters because it's dangerous to have someone putting on that much weight. Hey, you know what I'm saying? They complain about people having rehydration clauses, but Tank's laughing at you right now. That's why I had to throw him up in the thumbnail, because when he put that 10-pound rehydration clause on fight day, there's a reason for that. Smart negotiation, even though both fighters had to do it. You know what I'm saying? Even for welterweight at 147, rehydrating to 165 is a lot of weight, but obviously common for that weight class. But for 140 pound to rehydrate to 165, that's an enormous amount. You know what I'm saying? The weigh-in system needs dramatic changes for fighter safety to prevent guys from gaming the system. I like that, gaming the system. Rehydrating enormous amounts of weights to fighting well above the weight class they're competing in. Extreme rehydration is dangerous for the fighter on the receiving end, up fighting a person with tremendous size advantage. Now, this is where I disagree a bit, because we've seen fighters who are much larger in stature. They did rehydrate to much heavier weight, and they were still defeated. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on, who's the smaller fighter, because it's been smaller fighters that, it's been smaller fighters that pretty much take out bigger fighters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it all depends on who you are. But we've seen smaller fighters take out the bigger fighters. You know what I'm saying? We've seen Tank take out Rolly. Can you imagine what Rolly weighed when he fought Tank? Rolly looked like he was goddamn 165, 68, 78, whatever. He looked huge in there, man. You know what I'm saying? You have to draw all these conclusions, because I'm not just going to read the article because it's saying that, hey, it was, it's highlighting Haney's reported fight night weight. But I'm just saying there's fighters out there that can get past it sometime. But they do put rehydration clauses up there, and it'll be much more difficult for that fighter on fight day to have to pay that penalty for not coming in under the rehydration clause pound, limitation. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna come in, and then their body is gonna, slowly rehydrate throughout the day into the night. It's gonna be much more difficult, not having that time, that window, the night prior, to rehydrate all night. That's why we have rehydration clauses, for situations that we've experienced before and what we just read right here. It say, if the second, let me go back up here. I like what he said about this. He said Haney cannot forget about fighting Gervonta Davis, because there's no way the Tank will agree to fight him without a strict rehydration clause. Even with the rehydration clause, it wouldn't help Tank unless the secondary weigh-in was within an hour of the two of him stepping into the ring. If the secondary weigh-ins is on the morning of the fight, Haney could easily put the water weight back on in the system and come into the fight at 165 or higher and crush the smallest 5'5" Tank on size alone. I don't agree with that. When you say crush the smallest Tank, who has crushed him this for? You know what I'm saying? He's still undefeated. It sounds good for reading if you're writing a little small script for a reality show, you know what I'm saying, a sci-fi show or something, but that just doesn't happen. You even got Marvel comics that's much smaller than their enemy or adversary, and they beat them. I mean, come on now. For fans who feel that it's not a big deal that Haney gained 25 pounds, it's a big deal saying that he mostly boxed Prograis rather than slugging. And I have to take this in consideration. Just think about them coming in at 165 pounds, but yet they didn't want to be greedy because they was thinking about Jorge Linares. So how much weight do you have to have to give you the confidence to say, let me go ahead and knock this dude out? You're weighing more than what you weighed at the Linares fight. Now, I'm not even going to get into it. Oh, let me go back up here. He say, Abel Sanchez is chiming in. He said he fought the kind of fight that he needed to command the audience that he needed to command, said trainer Abel Sanchez to fight Hub. Talking about Devin Haney about his performance against Regis. He said, I like the fight because he did things different. He imposed his will and how he wanted to do them, said Abel. At this moment in Devin's career, he fought the perfect fight, controlling, doing what he wanted to do against a very good fight. Nobody's knocking or disputing or rejecting or debunking that he didn't do what he was supposed to do in there as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? He fought the fight he was supposed to fight and got the win, taking minimal to no damage. In the amateurs, fathers never want their sons to drop too much weight. If you're 135 pounds, fight at 135. Fight at weight is most comfortable to you. He found out 140 pounds that he didn't have to sacrifice. I'm sure he feel the difference power with an additional 5 pounds. He's not having to sacrifice to get down to 135. So give him another 7 pounds to go to 147 in his mind. He's going to be that much stronger, and he's going to be very skilled, said Sanchez. Well, Sanchez is just serenading Devin with accolade. I mean, just praise and adulations and plaudits after plaudits. I mean, I don't think the floral shop has any more bouquets in there because Abel Sanchez, he purchased them all just right there. I'm saying it's only 5 pounds between 135 and 140. And this is something I really don't get into because it's up to the fighter. But my overall thing is, like, if you rehydrated up to 165 pounds, right? I mean, why would you still be optimistic about letting your hands go to get them up out of there? Why are you saying that 30 professional fights at 165 pounds, that mindset, as big as you are, you don't want to go in there and finish Regis? After all the crap his coach was talking, and y'all was talking back and forth, exchanging insults. I mean, come on, bro. It said they'll think that if he did it once, he'll do it again if he's not controlled. If you want an even playing field, you won't get one if Haney rehydrates to 25 pounds after the weigh-in. Mario Barrios would be a good fight for him, a competitive fight. And if he can do the same thing to Barrios that he did to Progress, then we've got a star in the making at 147. Maybe we're running away from Subriel Matias, said Sanchez, if Haney were to move up to 147 without facing IBF light welterweight champion Subriel Matias at 140. Well, since they mentioned it, it was word that went out that supposedly Bill received a page, and once he got to the payphone, he attempted to call the number back. He talked to somebody. He didn't quite know who it was on the distant end, and he just yelled out, "Hey, we give him $4 million, click." And he waited by the phone for them to call him back, and they never called him back. So he broke the news and say, yeah, they offered Subriel Matias $4 million, but no one confirmed it. And we told them they had a deadline. When we hung up that phone, they know it. Hey, they didn't have but a short window to get back with us, and they never got back with us. So he ducked. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't think Subriel Matias' name is going to be the one that they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? I don't think if he's fighting at 165 and he didn't want to get greedy, they go in there and finish Regis. What do you think you're gonna have to do to that honey badger, freaking Subriel Matias? What do you think you're gonna have to do with that honey badger Matias? Because he just keeps coming and coming forward. Pressure. What are you going to do? You're going to sit there and you're going to be weighing 176 pounds and you're going to say, I just don't want to get greedy. Next time I figure it out. He's going to make you get greedy. He's going to make you be greedy. He's going to show me. Show me you can stop me. Show me you can beat me up. Show me you can outpunch me. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, that's just what I see from Matias. Sanchez goes on. I'm guessing this interview was conducted after Sanchez smoked a big one. I mean, one thing that was specially prepared. It had the finest granules. Oh my God, that shit was great. He said there's going to be a lot of people running away from the 140-pound division. And he's going to have to move up to 147 to get his fights. I don't think he's had the name, says Sanchez, when asked if Haney should be fighter of the year. Ding! Dong! I hope nobody's going to Abel Sanchez's estate and knocking on his door and say, you were saying such delightful comments about me. And then at that very last statement, you say, I don't think he had the names, said Sanchez. But if WCS puts this out here, they consider me to be grouped amongst the haters. And I'm saying to myself, all I'm doing is expressing my opinion. Opinion is not based off facts. It is straight up an opinion. And here we go. Champion trainer Abel Sanchez said, I don't think he has the names to be nominated, to be considered, to be favored as fighter of the year in 2023. Isn't that isn't that what I said? So after that right there, which has these freaking, I don't know what to call them just yet. I don't want to be disrespectful, but let's just call them the Green Bandits, okay? The Haney supporters, the Green Bandits. Just after Abel said this about him, right? I'm gonna skip over that next one, but he said Loma is a name of the past. Terrence Crawford is in the running for me anyway. Benavidez is in the running for me. Anui's in the running for me, said Sanchez. I don't think Devin had the marquee names to warrant being up there with those guys. Did he say the marquee names? The marquee names? He don't. I had people telling me today, and I had to defend myself. They say you're just hating. I'm not hating. I'm doing the same thing that everybody else do when they support fighters that they have a larger percentage of their heart, their sweat equity, their motivation. That's all I'm doing. But I hope you all go to Abel Sanchez and ask him to his face, what does he mean about marquee names? Because is he not giving you credit for Lomachenko because Teofimo Lopez already did it? And Lomachenko is probably in boxing years about 49.2 years of age in boxing years. Yeah, I know. And then they really didn't consider Kambosos, but I'm not going to be a hypocrite and not give you credit for going over there for the Aussie double. You got that shit. You did it. You know what I'm saying? You did it. But then we go to Jojo Diaz, and we all know Jojo just haven't been the same since Gary Antoine. I'm not Gary Antoine, Gary Russell. You know what I'm saying? Gary Russell pretty much gave him the business, and since then it's been, here and there. He had a win with Tevin Farmer, stuff like that. But, hey, no. So I agree with Abel Sanchez when he said that. He said Devin sold the product to a certain extent in the fight. He fought a very good fighter. He called Regis good. He didn't call him with the GR. He said a GO, a good fighter, and he controlled it. If you're going to sell a pay-per-view for $100, are you going to buy for Devin or are you going to buy with David Benavidez? I'm going to buy with David. Just when I was criticizing Abel for clearing out the floral shop with all the flowers, he comes back in that joint with a motherfucking blowtorch. I swear to God, you caught me off guard there, Abel. I thought you had stuffed all them joints in your trunk, and the trunk was wide open, flowers flying out the back just to get to the dang interview with Fight Hub to tell them this information. I was wrong. I was wrong. You just brought them so you can start a freaking small fire and keep warm in the winter. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. And then with the roses and everything, it provides a little scent with the fire too. I get it. A little aromatherapy. I get it. But damn, he said if you're gonna spend $100 for a pay-per-view, he'd rather see David Benavidez. WCS didn't say this. This is all Abel Sanchez. You know what I'm saying? He said he don't think that Devin fought the marquee names yet to be considered. I mean, Jesus Christ. Oh, man. That's amazing. Let me get to this, bro. Let me get to the chat. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat, man. Salute to y'all. Shout out to Dr. Paul on deck. I see you. What's up, WCS in the chat? Wow, though. 165 pounds at 62. I'm lost at the issue of the weight classes these days. Wow, 165 pounds at 62. That's the Victor snack weight. Shout out to Martin King Boxing on deck. What's good with it? Ron, how you feeling, man? That's why I said Loma was different. He was getting busy. Yeah, you did say that. You did say that, Loma. Hey, Loma was, you have to consider him still that dude, there's two-time Olympian fighting little kids over there. And then came over here and tried to become the, it's just so much scandal behind Loma. I'm not trying to, filter him into this live. It's just so much scandal between him coming over to the professional ranks and not having all his freaking fights recorded. It's just so much scandal behind that. But anyway, I like fights as long as you make weight. You can rehydrate whatever you're comfortable with. Well, some people feels like they're not on board with that, man. Especially when you got a little fragile, itty-bitty Regis Progress. He hydrated up to 150 plus pounds. That 150 plus pounds, hey, it is what it is. I mean, Regis, they probably thought they needed to rehydrate as big as as big as they could, because Devin was the bigger fighter, obviously, and his weight showed that. I'm not too much knocking him for, there was no rehydration clause, so he can do what he want. But, when I initially read this article, my whole point was like, at this age in your life, like you got the killers out there. The fighters that you don't have to tell to turn on the switch. They just know, like, you got the Jahad Tuckers, man. You got Javante Davises. You know what I'm saying? You got the Deontay Wilders. You got the Matiases. You know what I'm saying? You got the Gary Russells. Man, you got a lot of fighters, and not to mention the pound for pound best. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford, you don't ever have to tell these cats when to turn on the kill switch. Errol Spence Jr., you don't have to tell them when to turn on the kill switch, man. They already know where the switch is at, and pretty much it's already switched on when they in the ring. But when I read 165, I'm like, how, bro? How can you be that? How can you weigh that much and still not have confidence in yourself? Artists are just saying in one breath they want to get paid the most. Okay, they want to get paid the most. But then they go in here and they still not comfortable with putting on a showcase. And we all know the conversation would have been different if he would have stopped Regis. The conversation would have been different. Why? Because boxing is just dehydrated right now when it comes to freaking those finishes, those celebratory finishes with the knockout. People missing. But if you give them a back and forth exchange, a battle, you know what I'm saying? If you give them straight chaos, it substitutes for a knockout. People's like, oh my God, that was a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? God damn, round for round. It takes their mind off They only think about a knockout when the fight is going a certain way. Okay, this is Tank. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. Or they say, okay, man, damn, this fight it don't have too much activity to it. I mean, wow, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Let's do something. Come on. Punch. You know what I'm saying? The anticipation, the anxiety. But to weigh that much and to go in there and still be unsure if you can take a punch from Regis at 165 pounds. That's crazy, bro. That's all I'm saying. It's just crazy to me, man. I like fights as long as you make weight. You can rehydrate. I doubt Devin weighed that much. He was floating WCS like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. If he worked like a marathon runner, from what I noticed of his training camp. You know what I'm saying? That's what he weighed in with the commission. You didn't hear them say? You didn't hear when I read that about commission when the commission reported it? It wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? There was information that was reported from the commission. This is not straight, direct from WCS. The commission put this out there. Michael Benson put this out there. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't me. I'm reporting on the information that I have. You know? That's all I can give you. Real talk. That's all I can give you on this. It said, according to Michael Benson, the California Commission reports that after Haney weighed in at 140 last Friday, he rehydrated to 165 pounds on the night of the fight. That is not my words. That is what I am reading and reporting on. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that, Gumbo. How's the game in the system when you make weight? Floyd must be compromised. Then, because he had Canelo looking like an Ethiopian. See, this is what I can't do, man. I can't go way back in time and talk about these big fights that has nothing to do with this fight. You know what I'm saying? We can't go back to all these heavier fights and what they did back then. All I'm doing is I'm saying at 135, your first fight moving up to 140. That's amazing that they was able to cut weight like that. That's crazy. And then to rehydrate that higher tells you that Devin is absolutely a welterweight. Minimal, he's a welterweight right now. If you're talking about moving up divisions, minimal. He can fight at 147, 154. But like I said before, if he's still at 31 professional wins and he's unsure of being able to take risks, he need to turn on the Jahad Tucker highlight reel, because he has a lot of them, and or maybe hit him in the DMs and say, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Is there any way you can teach me how to fight on the inside and slip those punches the way you do, and while you still exchanging and, you know what I'm saying, putting a glove on his jawline? You know what I'm saying? I like how you be slipping punches but still able to throw punches at the same time. You know what I'm saying? After you slipping them. I mean, why don't you get the Jahad Tucker, you know what I'm saying, one-on-one literature of inside fighting, aka infighting, aka close combat. And that's what you might need to do, Devin. You know what I'm saying? Or this is the only other way that you can kind of see it up close and personal. From what I heard from a close source of mine, you might know him. Shaw News had mentioned that they was the only way that you was gonna get a free class about this is that Amari Jones signed the contract so you can see it firsthand. I mean, I don't want to get in between this, man. You know what I'm saying? But he's 160. And, you know, he said at one point in time that he wasn't impressed. So if you want to get a free lesson, then you might want to like hit him in the DMs, you know, get Amari Jones, you know, sign the contract, and then they can, you know, you can see firsthand on how to take risk and get on the inside. And then, you know, in between rounds, how some fighters just get water, and then you find out Jahaz is pretty much operating off diesel fuel, jet fuel, and you know what I'm saying, space shuttle fuel. You know what I'm saying? He just wants his mouthpiece. I mean, maybe you can get kind of like a first, a clear, concise look at how that works. You have 31 professional fights at 165, and you say you didn't want to get greedy because of Jorge Linares that you fought back in 2019. No, something ain't right, bro. Something ain't jiving. But appreciate that comment there, Ron. You know what I'm saying? For real. But no, I just can't do that. That Floyd talk, nah. We already know Canelo has rehydration. Shit, Tank just had a rehydration. And there's plenty of people that have rehydration clause. There's plenty. But there's no way that you're gonna tell me that Canelo was all daunted and he looked disabled. Come on, he was missing. Come on, man. You're gonna take that. What's going on with y'all, bro? Now you're going to emphasize that Floyd didn't really do too much. It was all because Canelo had a rehydration clause. Oh my God, man. I'm pretty sure if Canelo fights David Benavidez, he's gonna give him a rehydration clause. I guarantee that. What's the point of having a weigh-in if you're gonna fight 3 divisions higher on fight night? Hey, that's a good question, man. Maybe, like I said, I always mention that boxing doesn't have a president. You know what I'm saying? So when you see things play out like this, you say to yourself, if they just had a single president, a governing body that can rule on certain concerns in boxing, if they was able to unionize and consolidate the sport as one, that would be cool. But we know that's not the case. But very, very good question, Dr. Paul on deck. I'm not a Super Haney fan, but I see nothing wrong with a little weight gain after you made weight. I get you. I never said I seen anything wrong either. You know what I'm saying? I never said I seen anything wrong because perfect example of a smaller fighter knocking out bigger fighters. Bomb squad. He was smaller than most heavyweights, and he was knocking them clean out. But I know that's the heavyweight division. I'm saying he was knocking them clean out. Period. And we know in the heavyweight division, you can have a separation and a gap of 50, 60, 70, 100 plus pounds on somebody, and they still go in there and fight. They still humans. Canelo's pound for pound for being smaller. So if you don't gain weight for whatever you need, said weight, that's on you. 10 pounds is good limit, but I don't know what Regis agreed to. Regis didn't agree to anything if you rehydrate to 165. He didn't agree to anything. He agreed to accept the check. That's what he did. Boxers claim their bulk, so if you claim it after you made weight, it's your test point, blank period. Yeah, I mean, if the contract didn't state any type of stipulations, what does anybody do? I mean, it's I'm not saying he shouldn't have weighed that much. I'm saying he weighed that much. That's what they're saying. He weighed that much. Like I said again, my bigger reason, my larger emphasis to scrutinize it is that when you're looking at some of these fighters who don't get enough credit for having that kill switch, right? But yet y'all up here dogging Crawford out for fighting a weight drain Spence like he don't have no skills. You know what I'm saying? Come on. So you're gonna act like Crawford don't have no skills, but yet and still you have 31 wins now, and your excuse, just like Jokic Gamboa was, I was trying to prove I can go the distance, and now with Regis, you're saying I didn't want to get greedy. You knocked him down in the 3rd round though. Anyway, moving on. Arnold Brown on deck. What's good? I hate Abel Sanchez. If you're talking about Triple G Foreman, yeah, that's Abel, man. Come on, man. You can't hate Abel. He took him in there to battle Canelo, bro. Abel Cinema Bun stand to talk about black fighters don't sell. Hey, he ain't the first one to say black fighters don't sell. You know what I'm saying? Black fighters will sit up here and try to say they ain't fighting another black fighter because they don't make no money. But yet we'll get black content creators up here picking and choosing who they want to bloviate numbers to, right? You know what I'm saying? From what I'm saying, Haney them did 100 and some thousand pay-per-views. Okay, cool. Then you got people, oh, that's good. That's outstanding for him because, listen to me. Listen to me. The man was in his backyard. Kudos to him having those numbers, but it's nothing special. You know what I'm saying? Tank can sell out anywhere he so desire to fight. He can freaking have putting big numbers out anywhere he goes, man. Yeah, and they're not worried about that shit. I mean, you was over there in your backyard putting those numbers up. I mean, kudos. But y'all content creators, man, y'all got to stay within some type of boundaries, man. Because y'all sit up here and say Crawford don't sell, he's moving funny, he don't put butts in the seats. But then, since y'all was up there, the Green Bandits, all weekend, not doing no media, and you sit up here and say, oh, the reports have broken that they did 100-some thousand to this, and that's great numbers for Devin because that's the highest numbers he ever did. I'm like, bro, do other fighters get a pass? Do they get a pass? Seriously, do other fighters get a pass when you're trying to say that they did great numbers? I mean, do other fighters get a pass for doing the numbers and you say, oh, no, they ain't fight nobody? Oh, man, that ain't nothing. You had these same cats out here saying that when Crawford fought Avanesian, they only did 5K pay-per-view sales. Yeah, Mr. Circumcision Head himself. You know what I'm saying? He up that line talking about an MMA guy put it out there. Get the fuck out of here. Yo, Devin Haney really about that life now. The pendulum swinging. What pendulum are you talking about? I mean, he fought like he fought, man. Nobody's denying that he one of the most skillful boxers in the sport. With that said, he may be in the right lane. Depending on how they navigate through these divisions, he may be in the right lane to do what he got to do. But if he's looking for those big, huge paychecks, if you're looking for the Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia money, you know what I'm saying? If you're looking to be able to grace the square with the Canelo money, with the Crawford Spence money, you're going to have to fight somebody to be able to gross or be a dance partner with you for that pay-per-view. You're not going to be able to go over here and selectively pick opponents and think that's going to get you unless you're satisfied with that. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to get that 20 mil, 25 guaranteed, something like that, you have to fight somebody with notoriety. And it's not going to be Ryan Garcia. If you would have got Ryan Garcia when he had an O on his record and he didn't duck you at 135, cool. But I would absolutely say Ryan Garcia ducked Devin Haney at 135. He said it himself. So we can't put that culpability on Haney for not fighting Garcia when he was undefeated. But if you fight him now after Tank knocked him out, it's not the same. It's not the same. Even for the haters that sit up here and say, okay, we don't like Devin Haney like that, we're going to support Ryan. Still, it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. You need that shake, that room shaker. You need a Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? He's still undefeated. Man, you need that Teofimo Lopez, Matias, Boots Ennis. I'm not even going to mention Crawford because that fight ain't going to happen. That fight ain't going to happen. See, at this point in my career, if I was that young, listen, you talking about a good business move? People sit up here, Ron, hear me out on this. People sit up here and glorify what Canelo did when he fought Floyd. But if I was to suggest that somebody like Haney, Teofimo, challenge Floyd Mayweather when he's at 147, because he is the top dog right now, he's a unified champion, they'll say, oh man, you hating, you just want them to take a loss. I'll be like, well, it seemed cool when Canelo did it, because that one loss he took to Floyd, it took several years for him to lose again. It took several years for Canelo to lose again. And when he did, it was at a higher weight class. You know what I'm saying? When Canelo Alvarez stepped in there with Floyd, it was all cheesy. It was good. He challenged himself. He took risks. Well, guess what? How many fighters do you know this era that's willing to challenge themselves like Canelo. Oh no, I want to protect my O. It'd be smart of you to unprotect your O and go take the risk and the challenge to face somebody like Crawford, a great fighter, a Hall of Famer, right now before he gets out of the sport, bro. This would be the perfect time. Let me go up here and challenge myself. You know what I'm saying? Now, be honest with you. You know, Shaw News might be able to, you know, tell you a little bit, but you go in there and I saw y'all on this fight when y'all was all walking, all 50 of you was walking to check out the ring, right? You know what I'm saying? And you know, they was, you know, some of the YTC, you know, the Green Bandits, they was sweeping the ground in front of you before you walked in there to make sure you don't slip and fall on no dust. But when you got in that ring and checked it out, you said, oh, the ring was good. You know, this, that, and the other. Now, you go ahead and fight Crawford, you might have that Jahad Tucker ring. I don't want you to lose your mind now. You go in there and that ring super small, ain't no moving around. Well, when we was talking to the commission, why is the ring so small? Well, all I'm saying, ask Jahad. Jahad done fought two bigger fighters in a small ring. Come on now, man, show that man some love, dog. Show that man some love. He fought a 177-pound fighter who fought high as a 177-pound fighter that works his way down to that 154-pound weight class. And then we just, you know, Team Tucker just fought a top-ranked 5. This dude looked like he was goddamn 190 in there. He looked big as shit. And the ring was smaller than the one he fought Nico Seknashvili. Come on, bro. And you want to talk about taking risk? And Jahai only has a 10-1-1 record? Bro, come on, man. What the hell? Come on, that man done ran the gauntlet, man. And he has a 1 on his record and then still came out here and fought in a small ring. So hey, they talk about Canelo all the time, Ron. But a lot of these casters, they ain't willing to do what Canelo did. They're not willing to put their all on the line and fight the Grand Master. They ain't trying to fight the sensei. I don't know what life you're talking about. Explain to me the life that you're talking about, the Devin Haney. I don't understand the life. Look, he can box, bro. I don't know if he can fight. When I see Gervonta can fight. Jahad Tucker can fight. You know what I'm saying? Subriel Matias can fight. Teofimo Lopez, they can fight. Crawford can fight. There's plenty of fighters out here can fight. I don't know what the mindset of somebody saying that we didn't want to get greedy. Hell yeah, you go in there and get greedy. You got an early knockdown, finish him. Just like the game say, finish him. You don't have that killer instinct of all their professional wins, and you're a 2-division champion, formerly undisputed, and you're still thinking about Linares? No, bro. Nah, man. And man, I don't get it. So 20 plus pounds versus Grizz. Yeah, man. Yeah, he did, Carlos. You know what I'm saying? I did feel it should have been a exclamation point. Devin would have been on a different level. What you mean? And people coming out here putting on the snack program. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to weigh in on the snack program at all because I really don't know what supplement of snacks are they taking from that particular nutritional plan they on. But just because you're on a snack program, it's been proven that doesn't guarantee you'll win, because Demetrius Andrade stepped in against Demetrius David Benavidez, and you saw what happened. So what kind of snack he was on? And please don't say he got the outside the dough snack supplement and Crawford got the inside the dough. You know what I'm saying? Outside the room, inside the room, they're different. I kind of heard the article just kind of saying bias about how much he weighed. He didn't look that solid like a Kodo bill. What's going on, Sammy? How you feeling, bro? All I got is comparison as a fan looking. For sure, for sure. That's all we got. It's just people take it for more than what it's worth. But I'm just looking at, some fighters don't get the recognition to how they fight, how they go in here and entertain the crowd. Your prize fighters. How you going to earn the prize? The prize is making as much money as you possibly can. When you put information out there forever for people to screenshot and archive, what you saying you just didn't want to get greedy. At 30 professional wins, second division as a champion, I'm not hating. I'm just telling you what I genuinely think. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I look at some of these fighters that if they would have had that many fights already, man, come on, bro. You gotta gather some type of confidence to take that risk. Y'all fighters cannot say, okay, well, I'm gonna listen to Andre Ward and remember what he said against Carl Froch. You know what I'm saying? When the guy said Carl Froch has been shown and proven that he has a beard, he can take a punch. And then Andre Ward said, where I'm from, that's frowned upon. Yeah, maybe so. I get it. But we also have to understand that boxing has changed. And just like it costs networks more to put on fights, they want to basically put fighters on main event cards that are entertaining most of the time. You know what I'm saying? They want to mash them up with the entertainment value to draw in the viewership, bro. They don't want, like I said before, they just don't want people doing a chess match all the time. Now, if you make it look pretty and you can go in there and ebb and flow like water, cool. Make it happen. Devin might as well move up to 147. Wow, I can't believe he weighed that heavy on fight night. Maybe Thurman can welcome Haney. Hey, I'll watch that fight. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That'll be a good fight. I will have to say, right away, Thurman's inactivity, how much of a role will it play? And will we see Devin, who has the quicker hands than Thurman, outbox him? You know what I'm saying? I agree at this point. W says just like Tank can sell, Haney can also when it comes to cities. So they need to merge for Black Murderers Row. I hear you, Ron. I hear you, but it's no way that I can ever put Haney in a sentence with Javante as far as selling in cities. Because what cities have he sold in to those numbers? What city has he sold in that did numbers like this, supposedly? I don't even know the raw numbers. But Tank can go anywhere. He can go freaking anywhere. He can go to freaking Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? He can go home. He can go to Vegas. It don't matter. He can come down here to the A. Man, Tank is going to pack the house, man. I seen it. Tank is going to pack the house, man. They love the Tank. They love, seeing what he's about to do, man. Jessica's on deck. What's good with it, Queen? How you feeling? Devin Haney ain't knocking anybody out if he moves up. Fight Speedy Rashidi out the gate. That's a pendulum test for me. I like that. Rashidi, I like that fight. I do. I like that fight at 147 for him. You know what I'm saying? I like, a fighter that needs to prove himself too. You know what I'm saying? So you take a fighter who wasn't knocked out against Ramon Villa, but it was a good contested match. I think speed for speed, skill for skill. Rashida would be a good entry fight. Yeah, good selection choice. You know what I'm saying? Good selection, rather. To welcome him in. Something that's not too tough, but I'm gonna tell you what they thinking. And I really don't blame it because Adrian Broner did it. What I believe that the Haneys are trying to do is collect as many chips as they possibly can. So, divisional chips. And then they can just move at their own pace and take number of big fights or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just get them way early. Just get these divisions early because Devin's growing. And it seems like they're trying to be very strategical about how they moving up collecting these belts. I don't think they really want to run up to 47 unless they know when Crawford's leaving, because the first thing Bill said is that Crawford's moving up to 154 when asked would they want to fight the big dogs at 147. He didn't confirm that he wanted to fight them. He pretty much said that, Crawford's moving up to 154, Spencer's moving up to 154. So pretty much they're trying to wait till them belts come available and try to talk to Mauricio Suleiman to try to get a damn title shot up there. That's all that is. I'm telling you to play. I'm telling you to play, bro. If they stay at 140, they're going to try to go for the WBA. I don't see them going for Teofimo Lopez or Subriel Matias winner if they make it happen. I don't see that. I don't see it at all, bro. What's going on, Doug? Hey, you know what it is, man. That's what I'm saying, Hey. I mean, hey, what do you expect, man? Haney's only fought one brother in his entire career. He one American brother he has on his resume. But I could have sworn I heard him talk about Gervonta don't fight black fighters. The other two fighters that's on Devin Haney's resume are Africans, I believe. 2 African fighters. But I think Fowler is the only brother, American brother, that he fought on his resume. But it's all about the brothers sticking together and, work as one and become the union, man. Come on, bro. But Adrian Broner, think about how he did it. How he became a 4 division champion. You know what I'm saying? When he got up to 35, he skipped over 140 and went to 47, picked up a chip, and then dropped back down to 40 and beat the Magomedov, if that's how he pronounces his name, and picked up the 140-pound championship, and that completed his 4 divisions. He did it early. But though he did it early, he's still getting some type of benefit that he can stay healthy, if he can get himself together. But I don't know, man. We're ready if you claim to explain it. True Media World Combat Sports. I appreciate your support, Ron. Real talk. Appreciate you, brother. Yep, no doubt Canelo learned a lot from the Floyd loss. I think the best thing he learned is to not let a slick boxer get in your head without some counter tools. Hey, he learned from that, and he stayed undefeated for a long time after that. That one lone defeat was just there. And then once again, you have to respect Canelo, because Canelo is not the one that's thinking about the fight with Floyd Mayweather. He's not thinking about the fight he had with freaking Cotto. He ain't thinking about the fight he had with freaking Gennady Golovkin. He's not thinking of all these fights, that he had to be apprehensive and fearful about going in there taking risk. You know what I'm saying? He went there and was totally outclassed. Is outclassed the word? Outperformed by Dimitri Bivol, and still didn't get knocked down, and still was trying to find a way to land some punches. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't work. Yeah, the Green Bandits, man. They just wanted to be close to the WBC title. Dogs destroy but finesse boxers doing the minimal. Also, while I'm here, I wanted to, put this up there too. I wanted to put this up there, right? I just wanted to briefly let people know, and not to totally change subjects, but I want to put this up there for Who That Management. This is pretty much, the promoters who were scheduled, for Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, 23rd of December. Okay. I just wanted to put this up here for who that management. You know what I'm saying? Because he can't get over himself for mentioning me. But for who that management, I wanted to put this up here because if you look at these lists of promoters, Top Rank is at the top. There's no special order, no special order. I'm just letting you know Top Rank is on this list. But if you go down this list, PBC or TGB is not on here. You know what I'm saying? I was searching long and hard to find out why. I put my bloodhounds out there and I'm saying to myself, hey, y'all go find out this information and just bring it back. I'll be right here. I'm going to give you a good treat. All right? I'm going to give you a very delicious treat. And I just couldn't understand, like, if you're willing to go with other content creators, why don't you stand tall in front of a mirror and go at yourself and say, how can I come up with other material so this won't happen again? This is one of the biggest cards to close out the end of the year. And I remember when Crawford was heading there to fight David Avanesian in 2020, the sorts of names and saying he won this and that. But Liz, the smoke is clear. Showtime has gone. Gone. And we're about to have one of the biggest fight cards in Riyadh. And I don't see PPC on here. Why couldn't they be on here if Showtime is supposed to leave at the end of the year? Why don't I see it? I'm saying you got to do better, bro. You got to do better. If you're going to, use other people's names to speak of them because they are, doing what a lot of people do. They'll put out constructive criticism and sometimes it's just criticism. But you can't be mad if they're, critiquing, the fight card and what dissolved and everything else. And you're sitting up here trying to be the Lone Ranger without Tonto and saying, you know what, I'm mad at these content creators who speak ill about I'm speaking about them, but you're speaking about me. You see how that works there? Who that? You know what I'm saying? I was speaking about the Amazon Prime situation, but yet you speaking about me. That's what you call a person that's bored out their mind and they're frustrated. I can understand you being frustrated. You support an organization that you want to be a part of, but you don't have the credentials or the portfolio to sit at the table, bro. You don't have the portfolio to sit at the table. So that's why I had to create this list for you and to show you who was sitting at the table for this fight. This is fights where a manager is going to make a lot of money. Who that? You know what I'm saying? There's so many fighters on here that managers going to make some very nice money. I mean, that liquid gold over there, man, they're going to get paid on the 23rd. You know what I'm saying? And they're guaranteed to get their money. Unlike what Deontay Wilder said, he said, I'd like to get my money on time. That's all I'm saying. I just like to get my money on time. And he deserves that. He going out here knocking heads off. His check should be laying on the table when he walks through the door, period. And when he checks his account, the check should be there. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to throw this list up here, not to be savage or anything, but I just didn't really see, if you go through the event of this Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia card, Saturday, 23rd of December, 2023. I'm just saying, pay more attention to that because that's what you should be focused on. Who's tardy from the party? You feel me? There's some, a promotion that's tardy from the party. Top Rank is there though. That's the one that you was trying to tell, Rick Glacier that Top Rank don't put on enough cards throughout the annual calendar, and that PBC is, putting on all these cards and this, that, and the other. But one of the biggest cards at the end of the year, with all the talk, with all the garrulous talk that you did throughout the whole year, you and others, still couldn't prevent Errol Spence from getting drugged. You know what I'm saying? And then from Showtime leaving after he was drugged. You know what I'm saying? just focus on other stuff. That's all I'm saying. And that's all I'm gonna say about this. You know what I'm saying? I had to, sit up here and explain some facts to you. This is some facts right here. I don't see the people, you're the lone, ranger out here with no horse, trying to say anybody who say something about PBC that I'm used to, goddamn, I'm familiar with on here, I'm coming for you, I'm gonna speak on it. Well, you speak on why they not at the table over here in this big fight. I'll leave that there for you. That's all I'm gonna say on that. I'm not gonna take too long, goddamn it. What's going on, Andrew? How you feeling? A lot of boxers capping, but it's getting micromanaged now by true boxing fans. It's a lot of capping going on from 35 to 40. That's why I see the cap, the capillon. You know what I'm saying? And I see some capping at 54. Skip over 60 because shit ain't capping there. It ain't nobody even at home in that mode. You just knocking on doors to hope somebody come and goddamn tell you a lie. Ain't shit going on at 60. But 68. Hey man, it's gonna be some capping going on if we don't get the schedule that we're looking for in 2024 now. I'm just saying there's gonna be some capping going on. David just went ahead and dispersed of Andrade. So, what's next, man? What's next? I'm looking for the Bam Rodriguez and Sonny Edwards fight. I got Bam Rodriguez, man. Real talk. I'm definitely looking forward to that fight. I got Bam Rodriguez for the win. I surely do. You know what I'm saying? Sonny Edwards' knockout percentage is low. But, with the fighter fatigue and getting hurt, you know what I'm saying? It's boxing at the end of the day. You have to work your way up to it. But I'm going for Jess Rodriguez for real. Bam, Bam. I'm going for Bam, man. Real talk. I'm going for Bam. What is this they talking about? They said Calvin Davis didn't make any new fans. What's wrong with the end of the year, man? These fighters not willing to go in here and freaking entertain. What are they talking about? Davis picked up his fourth win on the year, 2 each on Pro Box. 20-year-old Southpaw twice appeared on the same show as his younger, more celebrated brother Keyshawn. Referee Jane Del Bianco, deducted 1 point each from both fighters' scorecards during a wrestling exchange in round 5. It saw all 3 tumble to the canvas. Wow. Okay. Booth, who hails from nearby St. Petersburg, was penalized for hitting on the break, and Davis was excessive holding and forcing a fall. The crowd was unmerciful in disapproval over the final verdict, as it was believed that Booth closed the gap in the second half of the fight. It was instead the 5th straight defeat for Booth, who fell to 21-9, 13 knockouts. Davis advanced 11-0 with his record consecutive 8-round distance fight. Okay. Interesting. I don't know if you all heard though, but in closing, I'm gonna just put it out there. Save it for another live. Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua is scheduled for March of 2024, deeming it that they both win their fight on the 23rd of December. Supposedly, once again, they were supposed to be fighting in December. But somehow, some way, Anthony Joshua wanted to fight Jermaine Franklin, then Robert Helenius, and all this other shit. He wasn't ready. He was doing what he wanted to do. But now he's going there against Otto Wallin. I'm going to be honest. I don't see Joshua beating Otto Wallin. But if the fight is already signed, I always tell people, they looking at that as a big money fight. I don't know if the Sheiks are looking at it the same way because they got money. You know what I'm saying? They got money. So they're not sitting up here trying to sip from the cup, carefully. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about none of that. They can drink all day long. They ain't worrying about the cup running out. So usually I'll say if a fight is basically signed ahead of time, both fighters going to win just to give the fans what they want. And if both fighters win, yeah, people are going to be anticipating that for 2024. So I always look at fights like this, Anthony Joshua going in there against a fighter who I don't, I wouldn't sit up here and automatically say, yeah, he's going to lose against, Otto Wallin is going to lose against Joshua. I just see him as more talented than that. But it gave me the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. vibes when Canelo fought him for 12 rounds and Chavez did too much of nothing. And he was outpointed on the scorecards. And then they brought in Gennady Golovkin. I always use this scenario. And it's not the only time. It's just plenty of fights that's already been signed that the fight turned out. And then, we got the next fight in line. But I'm not too clear on this. Unless Otto Wallin just goes in there and just give away rounds. Or some crazy knockout. I mean, this is a guy who went the distance with freaking Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? So if he goes in there against Joshua and get dropped and just can't get up, or it's a headbutt, it's any crazy shit, and Joshua wins, I say, hey, there you go. There you go. You know what I'm saying? I do believe Deontay Wilder have all the potential to stop Joseph Parker. You know what I'm saying? I don't take nothing away from Joseph Parker. He's a very, solid heavyweight, former champion, WBO heavyweight champion. You know what I'm saying? I like Joshua, man. But he about to get that right hand. He about to get that ammunition. Dang, Big Blunt said Kevin Davis fight was absolute trash. Damn. You trying to say it wasn't even recyclable? You couldn't hit replay on that motherfucker just to say, okay, let me do some film study, dog. Let me do some film study. You couldn't even goddamn put yourself up to doing some film study, Blunts? Shout out to Big Blunts and Boxing the Gold on deck, man. What's good with it, man? The Sheiks don't care about nothing. These boxing masters just pay-per-view side shows and their private parties. Yeah. Man, they ain't worrying about no freaking pay budget. They ain't worrying about none of that shit, man. Did y'all see the promo that they did on the fight card? They turned that shit into a goddamn horror movie, bro. God damn. I've never in my life seen a U.S. promotion pull something off like this. If you want to see it, go check out my IG, man. Go check out my IG. I've never see. I thought the last fight they had with Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury, the way they did that promo, I said, okay, that's cool. But they damn near made this look like a Gotham trailer, dog. They had majority of the fighters on the main card in that bitch, man. They had freaking Philippe Herkovic putting in an eye. His eye was out and shit. They had Dimitri Bivol looking like he's straight out goddamn I Am Legend extra. Deontay Wilder and I forgot the other fighter. They driving through the city like they possessed, and they got the freaking goddamn the freaking Ebola Rona. You know what I'm saying? They driving around like they got the Ebola Rona. 256. They infected. They driving around like it's no speed limit, running over motherfuckers. I mean, that promo is like a freaking Marvel comic trailer, bro. Just think about that. Just think about how these cats are living over there, man. Their life ain't my life. I can tell you that. I couldn't even look the shit they doing over there, man. Bro, if they really gave a damn to continue to include boxing, I mean, it's just crazy because the money is is pretty much consolidated over there. Like the budget is just crazy. Like they don't have to seek out US promoters to get the money. They got the money. You know what I'm saying? So they can put on these type of shows. But they also, the reason why I showed that green thumbnail was because the fighters is in there. Yeah, you still have the promoters that's going to be tagged in there because they have some of the fighters that sign to these promotions. So I don't know what the freaking agreement is with the Riyadh, you know what I'm saying, promotion, and the U.S. promotions and the promotions and everybody else. But then, man, that shit was classic, man. That's a classic promo, man. That shit is banging. Real talk, if it's still up there, you know. That shit's banging, man. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never seen nothing like that in the U.S. in my life, man. I'm talking about for boxing promo. They live different, man. They on a different time clock over there. Real talk. They go to bed and wake up different than I ever can imagine, for real. Yeah, you need to check that out, man. That promo was sick, man. That promo was sick, for real. And the characters actually look like the fighters too. That's sick. AJ trying to look crazy was funny to me. Yeah, I don't get the whole promo, whatever these dudes about to bang out. Andrew type person, hold up. Before we get all antsy and act like this is something new, man. AJ, come on. I was feeling everybody else, but AJ, no, he just don't give me the killer vibes. Seems like AJ had the vaccine. He was really going over there to give them the vaccine to kill them. He wasn't like he was trying to take their lives. Yeah, I said the same thing. I said that's about as mean as AJ gonna get. For real. That's about as mean as he gonna get, bro. Did y'all hear the Tank is saying no fight because Haney on snack? I don't really care, to be honest. I don't care if Javante says no fight. Javante is the A side. He can pretty much turn down what he wants to. You know, real talk. I mean, what does he get from that? Tank is a 3-division champion, and he has less belts than Devin earned, but Devin has less money than Tank has earned. So if he want to turn down the fight, he can turn down the fight. I'm not tripping on that because they've been able to freaking maneuver themselves through these freaking airwaves, man, and make this money. He just made like over 30 million with Ryan Garcia, who had no belt, and you're trying to tell me fighting Devin Haney for a WBC belt is something that Tank needs to do? Come on, bro. Come on, man. It's just unfortunate, but that's just the way I see it, bro. That's just the way I see it. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. That's just like Canelo. Canelo going to fight who he want to fight. I don't like when he say, well, I'm not going to get too much credit for Crawford. I feel some type of way because it's not just getting credit. It's that you fight an undefeated, pound for pound, best fighter. And he has the 3-division, 2-time undisputed accolades. You're not just getting a fighter from 147. And then also what I hope this does for boxing is to stop just picking and choosing what fighter you want to point the finger at. Devin had fought at 140. When Crawford was up here calling out Canelo, y'all criticize it, scrutinize it, or whatever the fuck y'all was doing. But when Errol Spence and the two Charlos was doing it, it was okay. But now you need to take a look at it and say, oh, my bad. Because Devin just weighed in at 165, right? So when Crawford calls out Canelo, don't be sitting up here set tripping and complaining and bitching. I'm talking about he's at 147. Nobody wants to see that. Well, guess what? Just like I told you all, Crawford and Spence already fought at 54. They probably already fought at 60. So y'all continue to complain about Canelo fighting Crawford from 47. Come on, man. Devin just weighed in at 165 at 140. And y'all tripping on that Crawford shit? Stop bitching, man. Coach Ford said the Tank would hurt and spar heavyweights, and now Tank too big, but also don't want no Shakur fight. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing about Tank sparring. I've seen it with my own eyes, but I'm going to tell you like this. It's a lot of people that say they got off on Tank. It's some people that say they got off on Crawford. But when the lights are bright and there's thousands in attendance and million watching, that's where it counts. All the other folklores and freaking telltales of this sparring session, how that sparring session, it don't matter until you under the lights. That's where it matters. You can sit up here and say whatever you did to Bud, whatever you did to Tank, whatever happened between, Devin and all those other fighters, Shakur, all these freaking Ryan Garcia sparring matches, Rolly, all this shit. It don't matter until you under the lights. And it's plenty tales out there. You know what I'm saying? That Tank was crushing heavyweights. You gotta understand, Tank hunts different at the end of the day. He hunts different. People can sit up here and Tank will go up here and stop a fighter, right? And they always want to make it seem like, oh man. But when Isak Cruz went the distance, they was like, oh man, okay. Oh man, Tank didn't stop him. And what he do? He had 2 fights. 2023. He stopped Hector Garcia. Never was the same. Tank didn't even knock that man down like that. Tank hit him so hard the man couldn't come out the corner, couldn't even see. I still think he was blind when he stepped in there and took that work his last fight and got stopped. Come on, man. And then he goes in here and stopped Ryan Garcia. And people still talking about sparring. Yeah, there's plenty of sparring stories out there for Tank. It's sparring stories out here for a lot of fighters. But how are you going to perform when you go out there under the bright lights, bro? I just think Tank needs to be honest and go back to 130. I hate what he's doing because I'm such a boxing fan. Hey, check this out, though. This is how I look at it, too, Ron. What is he doing at 135 that's affecting people? He didn't try to hurry up like Canelo did when Benavidez lost his belt and tried to scoop up the WBC. When it was lost, he didn't try to go over there and run and say, oh, let me get this belt. Ooh, let me go fight for this belt. The WBA wants to elevate Tank. I don't want that shit. I mean, come on, man. This man is making millions of dollars, and he's not doing anything wrong. It's not like he has multiple championships in his possession and he ain't doing shit. I mean, come on, man. The man has a WBA regular title, but he's making millions with it. I mean, come on, bro. Hey. I want the best facts. Haney fighting the best. Lomachenko called out Tank, and Progress also called out Haney, took care of business. If Lomachenko want to call out Tank, do that. But I say Lomachenko gets stopped. Let's not act like Lomachenko haven't been on the canvas, bro. If Lomachenko can't hurt Tank, I know Lomachenko won good fights, but come on, man. I think Gervonta can stop Lomachenko. Real talk. I think he can stop him. And you got to give Lomachenko his credit. He can box, man. He can box. Real talk. He's a real deal, no doubt. I never said Oh, you talking about Kelvin? What Kelvin said? I never said he couldn't fight, Devin. But I look at the mentality of fighters. I don't think he's worrying about, the size. He just wants to continue to do business that's beneficial to him going out there and performing and maximizing who he is as a fighter. That's the way I think about his mindset. Just because other people look at something and they say, okay, yeah, you want to give me credit for sparring heavyweights, but yet you want to put a rehydration clause, or you don't want to fight Devin Haney because he on snack. Well, you gotta understand, he's making millions undefeated by having success at how he's moving through the sport. So why would he have to get to a point where he should accommodate these fighters? You know what I'm saying? Just accommodate the fighters that's doing all this crazy shit. What if Gervonta went back the way it used to be when he was having problems making weight, and in between fights he was looking big and all that. The man even went back to a division where he dropped his title on the scales and fought and made weight and got a knockout. He even went up to 140 and fought Mario Barrios, right? So he can pretty much, based off the money he's been making, he doesn't have to appease the fight fans and say, yeah, just because they up here talking, just because the fighters are talking, yeah, they wanna talk. Why? Because you got to think of it like this too. Just like Demetrius Andrade walked in the press conference and he was anxious to fight Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo said, yeah, I know, you want payday. Yeah, payday. Okay, well, don't you think they trying to get that money, to get that dance partner with Gervonta? They trying to get the money too. They want to payday. Ain't none of these fighters out here, grossing that type of money that Gervonta is grossing like that. Besides Canelo Alvarez, that's it. Canelo is the only one that can be flying above and send a motherfucking have somebody rappel down there and pick up a bag and bring it all the way back up without even touching down on the tarmac. I mean, he's making money, and he pretty much has the WBA Regis title at 135, 3-division world champion already. And you think he's gonna worry about the demands of any of those fighters? He don't care, bro. Now, if Teofimo wanted to fight Devin Haney, okay, that'll be a big fight, big money fight. You got the Hispanic, side of it. But you're talking about, once again, that people have to, when it becomes the cliche, two black fighters in the ring, it has to have the lead up, the spark to it, the electricity, the energy, like Crawford Spence. It has to have that energy to it. If it don't have that energy, people are not gonna freaking pay to see that fight, bro. They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna pay to see it, man. I mean, don't let these people put you in a state of anxiety, all because it's trash talking and you want your favorite fighter to fight this person and that person. I mean, everybody's gonna trash talk. Everybody's gonna root for their favorite fighter to fight whoever they think. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand how fighters move. Just because it's said out here on social media doesn't mean you should be all happy because it's on social media. You should really think about and try to figure out a connection with the fighter that they talking about, and say to yourself, is he really gonna entertain this? I mean, come on, he ain't gonna entertain that shit, man. The only way he gonna step in there with Devin is that it's incredible money. That fight goes down in Riyadh or something, and Tank may potentially take home 60 million, some to that extent, man. It has to be something that's worth every bit. I mean, I don't know why people keep acting like this dude can't box, man. Y'all act like you act like Tank can't box. He don't know how to hunt. That dude can fight, coming forward. He can fight going back. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, dude done freaking knock Rolly out coming off the ropes. Shit. Hey, I don't have the answer for you, bro. He's causing me to think he's not with legendary status. That's all I'm saying. And takes away the sportsmanship of the entire sport. You can say that sportsmanship is something that you can criticize. You know what I'm saying, Ron? You can criticize sportsmanship because you're saying, okay, if you're in that position, cool. If you're one of the top names, but look, he's not one of the top names when it comes for pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the top names at 135. But people look at it like, yeah, he's one of the top names of pay-per-view. But when you're talking about championship belts, of course, you're saying he's holding the Reggie belt, right? So how far up the ladder the ladder of hierarchy that you're gonna put Tank when it comes to sportsmanship? Because sportsmanship is not considered the fights you take. Sportsmanship is how you perform in the fight. Business is not considered a sportsmanship. It's considered business. You know what I'm saying? It's not considered sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is when you get the fight and how you go in there and perform. You know what I'm saying? Did you go in there and perform for somewhat like the spirit of the sport, as Jack Reese say? You know what I'm saying? Did you go in there and give the fight fans what they wanted? Or you just stood around and moved around, barely threw a punch, and you came out with 36 total shots landed? I mean, to me, that's a very broad terminology, sportsmanship, because business don't have shit to do with sportsmanship, bro. That's just my opinion, though, Ron. It don't have nothing to do with no sportsmanship. It's business. And I'm just hoping the fight's 3-time next year. That he says, what do you think gives Tank a great? Who do you think gives Tank a great fight? You know, 135. Of course, I'll say, you know, you said give Tank a great fight. You know what I'm saying? I want to say Regis. I mean, not Regis. Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? I want to say Shakur Stevenson. But there's not a lot of big names. Okay, so we can sit up here and have the names like Keyshawn Davis, Floyd Schofield, Shakur Stevenson. What's the other guy? Andy Cruz. You know, we have some 35, some pretty big names, but are they physically ready for Gervonta Davis? You know what I'm saying? Are they physically ready? See, like, that's what I'm talking about. Who's the man and who's not? You know, when it comes to the title, they say, oh, Gervonta ain't the man because he's holding on to a Reggie. But when it comes to overall boxing, his pay-per-view numbers say he's the man. You know what I'm saying? His pay-per-view numbers say he's the man at 135 and in all of the sport of boxing, because the numbers just don't stick to 135-pound division. They stick to the totality of boxing. So you can say he ain't the man for the pound for pound. You can say he ain't the man for the titles that he's holding. You know what I'm saying? I would say Shakur Stevenson, give him a run for his, I wouldn't say a run for his mouth, but entice the people to see the fight, Shakur Stevenson, because both of them are undefeated. Let me give myself a little bit of help to kind of search through some shit, because it's not a lot of names up here that's ready to face Tank Davis, man, a.k.a. El Chin Checker. It's not a lot of fighters up there ready to face El Chin Checker, bro. So you ask me, who do I think that'll give him? And it's not a lot. Really. Like, you want to talk about heavy is the head who wear the crown, and that crown on his head is the highest piece of jewelry that he have in his possession? That's crazy, bro. So the IBF title is vacant right now at the lightweight division. All right. So at this point, Andy Cruz is not ready. Who's the name that's coming up? He's only 2-0. Edwin De Los Santos, no. Floyd Schofield's not ready for a Tank Davis, in my opinion. Frank Martin ain't ready for a Tank Davis. Vasyl Lomachenko, yeah, he's ready. But, you said who would give him a good go. I say Vasily Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson. The list is not that long. Keyshawn Davis, in my opinion, is not ready for Gervonta. He's not ready, man. I wouldn't want to see George Kambosos in there with Tank, even though Kambosos will come to fight or whatever. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it, bro. 35 is. They have a lot of youngsters coming up right now, and we got to see where they at with it. But as far as names that's challenging Tank right now, hell no, bro. There ain't no Isak Cruz. He can get a rematch all he want. He ain't gonna do anything special to Tank. Good question though, but I don't have too many answers. Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko. That's all I can give you, man. I don't know. I don't know if you're talking to the masses or me. He say, so Devin is making money, but he wants the great fights. Stop calling a spade with it isn't. So you're saying Devin's making money. We're talking about competition or money. Because every fighter get paid wages per the Ali Act, right? We all know that each fighter get paid wages. I really don't talk about the money Devin making because I don't care. All I know, he ain't making Tank Davis money, but he's making money. I really don't care what money he's making. You know what I'm saying? As far as him wanting great fights, I feel that that's incorrect. If that's what you're saying with the exclamation marks, that's not true. That's incorrect, bro. Come on now. It seems like either one, you're not being honest with yourself, and you want to see things that you haven't seen yet. You want to speak them into existence. What great fights are he's talking? I praised him for going over there and doing what he had to do. He had no other choice but to go over to Australia and perform the way he did and get the titles and then defend them. I commend him for that. Real talk. It's no subtraction of that. He went over there and did what he did in Aussie Double, and then came back and fought Lomachenko, and he ended up defending his title. Even though I thought Lomachenko won that fight, he got it done. He defended his titles for a second time. That's straight up. But as far as you talking about, he want the greatest fights. You think Regis Prograis was the greatest at 140, or Devin Haney, who fought the former undisputed super lightweight champion in Josh Taylor? And he's the lineal champion at that division. You said people will pay for Tank versus Haney. People will pay for that fight because it is the name's Tank versus Haney. But if you listen to what I said, Devin has not did the numbers that Tank has done. And then I also said you have to become a little bit closer connected to these fighters to see how they think when it comes to business, right? You know, some fighters that you feel like, let's just say, for instance, you're talking about Devin. You would think it'll be automatic, right? But it's not going to be automatic because of the way Team Davis moves when it comes to negotiation. You know, you're not going to be able to come in there with Team Davis and say, okay, this is everything we done. You know, they already know that. You know what I'm saying? They don't care nothing about that. So you want to come in there saying, oh, we want this percentage and that percentage. You're not going to be able to browbeat Davis into a negotiation. Now, will the people come see it? Yeah, of course. Of course they'll come see that fight. Of course. But if he wants a rehydration clause, Ryan Garcia accepted the rehydration, but Team Haney won't. You think the fight gonna be made? It's not gonna be made. It's not gonna be made because Tank is at a point right now that he's making millions on pay-per-view, and just because you have a team Haney, he's not gonna come into negotiation and say, "Oh, your name bigger than mine." It's not gonna be that way. But once again, people will pay to see Tank Davis and Devin Haney, but will they be able to get through negotiations? That's the bigger question mark. Will they be able to get through negotiations, bro? Because I just don't see Gervonta them capitulating to nobody, man. You're not gonna come in there and have your portfolio on the table and talk about this is all I've earned and I did this. They're gonna show you all the pay-per-view. They already know that. You know what Gervonta has did and his pay-per-view numbers and how much money he's making. It'll be senseless for you to go in there and try to convince them that it should be a 55-45 split. It should be damn near 50-50 split. The fight ain't gonna be made. They don't care if they making millions selecting the fighters they want to select. They're in a unique enigma in boxing where he can do that without holding a surplus of championships on his waist and just picking or just being the top names, just going to here fighting the top names right away. He's finding a way to infiltrate that. And if that infiltration requires him to make millions of dollars, that's what's going to last him long term, those millions of dollars, not the chips, not the name. You know what I'm saying? People see them for sure. People pay to see them. Absolutely, they will. I mean, I don't know what excuses people making when you're talking about the boxing community. It depends on what channel you're hanging out at. When you say the people, they're making excuses. Who making excuses for Tank? Are you talking about Calvin? Well, Calvin can talk his talk. He's the trainer, bro. I mean, look, when you trying to sit up here and talk about the people, you're talking about Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis has been around Tank since he was a youngin', bro. I mean, y'all have to understand when you get these trainers that talk, they talk. They can say what they want to say about Tank. They're not going to appeal. They're not going to sit up here and satisfy your thought process. They say, I done spent hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon days upon months upon years with Tank. I'm going to say what I want to say that benefits Tank and Tank only. That's how they're going to come at you, and they don't care how you feel. They don't give a damn how many people up here jumping on the green bandwagon and say, yep, he should fight Tank. Of course people want to see Tank fight Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, shit like that. But if he's making millions on pay-per-view, what's going to last longer? Millions or several dozen titles? What's going on, Holyfield? He said Tank don't want Devin. We all know that. No, we don't. We don't all know that. I don't know that. I know I'm not 1% of boxing, but it's no way that you're gonna. I don't look. I don't know who some of you all are. I know we up here having some boxing conversation, stuff like that, right? But to say that a fighter don't want, okay, let's fall behind semantics, right? Okay, let's just say he doesn't want to fight Devin because he feel that there might be tough negotiations and he's not gonna get the money he want. Okay, but when you're talking about Tank don't want to fight Devin as far as skill for skill, that's kind of laughable to me. It's just laughable, bro. It's just very laughable, because this is what I'm gonna say again to Holyfield. You know what I'm saying? DeVille. This man just went on record with 31 victories and say the reason why they didn't go for the knockout supposedly is because they didn't want to get greedy and they was thinking about Jorge Linares. So do you think Tank Davis, who's a different fighter than Regis Prograis, a much more dangerous fighter than Regis Prograis, don't you think his approach is going to be different than Regis? Don't you think he's going to pressure Devin more and force him to take risk? So I'm looking at it like when people say Tank don't want to fight Devin, what do you mean exactly? Where have you seen bitch and Tank like that in a fight? Where have you seen that? I'm just trying to go through his look. I'm just trying to have a mental reflection on what fight I can pull up that he was just bitching out of the entire fight. What fight was that? I'm just curious. What fight were y'all looking at? What fight? Was it real time or was it virtual? Was it something that you was creating a mental picture? What the hell are we talking about? I don't get it, bro. You say it's about the truth. Now people are starting to open their eyes. We aren't in the Mayweather era no more. We want these fights for boxing fans. So people starting to open your eyes, and I appreciate you being, you being adamant about whoever you're supporting. All right. But I don't know about no people opening their eyes. Ain't nobody eyes open than it was 2022, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. You know what I'm saying? It ain't them eyes ain't open no more than what they were. You know what I'm saying? It took us damn near several years to get the Crawford and Spence fight. And when the fight finally happened and Crawford crushed him, what they do? They made excuses. So do you really believe their eyes are open? Do you think their vision is crystal when it comes to comparing what they've seen, how their brain is processing, and then how they regurgitate information honestly, organically, genuinely to say, you know what, Crawford won that fight, instead of making up lame, foolish excuses and talking about, oh, he fought a weight drain Spence. He fought a weight drain Spence. Yeah, he did. He fought a weight drain Spence. That's what he did. Don't even want to give a man credit for being one of the greatest boxers of this era. They just want to say, oh, he beat a weight drain Spence. You think the eyes are open when people want to get on the YTC and push these narratives and create false lies on a fighter after they've seen their favorite fighter get beat? You think the eyes are open? You think they're seeing it clearly? I don't think so, brother. But I do appreciate your comments, though. At least you speaking on what you believe, you know what I'm saying, and not everybody else, you know what I'm saying? But, hey, yeah, Rolly, real talk. I don't, like, once again, I don't care what Rolly looked like when he was in there with Tank. When you talk about eyes being open, you have to understand that there was a lot. There was a lot of boxing fans on here talking about Rolly has a chance, a puncher's chance of knocking out Tank. Rolly has a puncher's chance, bro. That's what I'm telling you. They underestimate Tank. Tank go in there, I guess just because he fight who he fight, they don't appreciate what they're looking at. Tank even told you, yeah, I just decided to delay, back off a little bit. He had a little pop on his punches, just that and the other. But he got around to doing the same thing. I mean, exactly what he wanted to do, and that's stop him. After he fought Barrios, he wanted no business at 140. Yeah, my mic went out. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Can y'all still hear me? Yeah, still be good. Let me check my okay. It seemed like I'm straight. So you said he wanted no business at 140. That just proves my point with Tank. Tank knows how to conduct business and do it the way he wants. It's his business, right? So what you all want is for him to just navigate and use the GPS coordinates in the direction where you want him to go. I mean, for some boxers, they have to do that. You know what I'm saying? They have to go where their team is pointing them through. But when you come a prize fighter like Tank, I mean, he can pretty much do what he wants, bro. Like he can navigate these waterways, man. He can get off and fight whatever fighter he want. I mean, y'all not totally happy on who Canelo is fighting all the time. You know what I'm saying? Canelo can pick and choose who he wants. It's not always who you want him to fight, but he pick and choose who he wants to fight. So you saying he didn't want smoking 140, but he's still considered a 3-division champion with that 140 belt. And that 140 belt would be another WBA Reggie belt, which the only person you should be blaming is boxing. You should be blaming boxing. All of you should be blaming boxing. The good thing about the Reggie belt is that the WBA is trying to eradicate that WBA Reggie. You know what I'm saying? And the wild part about it is that, let's just say they take the belt from Tank. Because when they elevate Tank to this WBA super champion, that WBA title is gone. That WBA Reggie is gone. Okay? It's gone. It's only like 3-4 more champions that still have Reggie belts. That shit is gone. Okay? So that's not going to be a part of your argument no more. You can rest assured that shit is gone. Let's just say they removed the WBA. Let's just say he's not the WBA. The only thing this does is Tank is going to have to fight some mandatory or whatever. Or, being the Tank does what Tank does, he can vacate the belt. What is that going to do? Kick him out the division? What is that going to do? He's going to get banished from the 135-pound division if he vacates the WBA belt? The dude can get on the pay-per-view and fight anybody that he want to. And they're going to come fight him because of the money, bro. Now, of course, he can make more money if he had a belt for his opponent to challenge him for. But still, they want to fight Tank, man. It becomes a chess. It comes a what's the word I want to use? It becomes a thought process on what becomes more important, rather. Is it more of the titles that he don't have, or being the first one to defeat him? What's more important to the people when they see Tank step on pay-per-view? Let's just say he don't have a belt. Okay, can this person beat him? Can they put on Tank? And can they put that one on Tank's record? And also, if they beat Tank, what is it going to do? Put him on the pound-for-pound list, right? Especially if they a high-ranking fighter, you know what I'm saying, in the 135-pound division. It might put him on the pound-for-pound list. We already know the criteria to get on the pound-for-pound list don't necessarily mean you have to have a title. And it doesn't mean you have to have a freaking super title either. Lomachenko is sitting up there chilling, legs crossed, chilling, drinking wine with no belts. None. Period. Zero. So y'all looking at what Haney's getting paid. What does Haney's pay have to do with him fighting Gervonta Davis? I mean, Gervonta supposedly got paid over 30 million. I don't really care what Devin was paid, man. If he was paid, 8 million, whatever the case may be, kudos, man. I really don't care about what these fighters are getting paid, man. I really don't. I really don't care about that. I want all these brothers that they the ones stepping in the ring, not me. Get your money. Hey, the money will come if he gets his opportunity again like he got in Australia. And don't try to overemphasize the negotiation. He'll get paid. I mean, he's still young, bro. Devin Haney is still young. So you're talking about another 10 years for him to solidify his legacy. So like I said before, the old guard is moving out the sport or up to a division, and the new guard is taking over. That's what you see right now. You see the new guard making moves. The new guards from the 130s coming up to the 135. 35 is going to 140. You see it happening. Look, you used to have what they call the Fab Five, so to speak. You had Ryan Garcia on that shit, Vasil Lomachenko, Gervonta Davis. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo Lopez. You had all these names, JoJo Diaz. You had all these names up there. And now you've seen they move. You know what I'm saying? Teo's up there 140. Haney's up there 140. Ryan's at 140. It's kind of and then I forgot to mention Gervonta too. But you had all of them as the Fab Five at one time at 135. So a lot of them have since moved on, and Tank is still there. Tank is still there. But the one thing about Tank still being in the division, he's still making more money than all them, bro. He's still making more money. I'm going to let y'all go speak and make an opinion. When you speak the truth, people will open their eyes. It's all Devin, really. As long as he has you as an advocate for him, man, continue to speak up on a fighter that you support, man. That ain't a problem of mine. You know what I'm saying? Speak on how you speak, for real. When you're talking about eyes opening up, this is a sport of boxing. It doesn't have a single entity that's over it. It doesn't have a controlling authority. You know what I'm saying? Inevitable. I hear you on, I know you're adamant. You know what I'm saying? I always hear you call in. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. If you're the same one, I always hear you call in to the freaking boxing voice, for real. So that's why I've been reading your comments, because I already know I done heard you like that. That's how much I pay attention, bro. But I'm saying you adamant about it. I heard you adamant over there at TBV. I get it. I get it. But you don't always get everything you want. And in order for the eyes to open up in boxing, where's boxing though? You know what I'm saying? Where's boxing, bro? Like, where can you put your finger on boxing? Boxing in the U.S. is everywhere. It's no one place that you can just say, okay, boxing is here. Everybody is goddamn eating off the sport, man. There's no freaking controlling authority, approving authority, governing body, president. None of that shit, bro. As long as the sport is not regulated, man, they're going to keep doing what they want to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to D-Block on here. I always hear him drop his inevitable D-Block, D-Town, D-City, D-Ville. I pay attention to all that shit, dog. Holyfield say, as a boxing fan, I don't care who gets paid more. I care about fights and who puts on the best fight. Devin is one making it happen. Okay, that is your opinion that he's making it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your opinion. If you feel he's making it happen by doing something that T.O. just did or everybody else did, Josh Taylor did, okay, you saying he making it happen. All right. I mean, I don't have nothing to say about that. That's your thought process. You know, like I say, I'm not 1% of boxing. You're not 1% of boxing either. But you do have a voice. And all I'm saying is we have to wait till the upcoming months play out to see if some of these bigger names fight each other. If we get a Tank versus Haney, do you know, they can talk all they want about, okay, well, you know, the only thing I've heard, you know, the Haneys talk, you know, they'll start taking, you know, before the Regis fight, it was just straight up insults. You know, they was going back and forth on social media. And then it was Shakur Stevens. They were going back and forth on social media. And then before that, it was Teofimo Lopez at 135. All I hear is just back and forth shit, back and forth, man. And then it was Regis Prograis. They say, okay, we're moving up to fight Regis. And then it was back and forth with them. I mean, come on, man. Like all the targeting is going with these fighters. I mean, come on, bro. And then they talking about what they offered Regis, vice what they offered freaking Shakur Stevenson. I don't get into money shit, bro. Around this generation of boxing isn't the same that I grew up on. Boxing isn't my favorite sport anymore. Facts to that. Andy Cruz looked very mature and prime the other day. I think he's one guy. The hype might be actually true. Yeah, I'm looking forward for Andy Cruz to the freaking elevate and do whatever he needs to do at 135. He's gonna be one of those guys like Gabriel Maestre when he fought Michael Fox. He was like 2-0. You know, he should have been kicked out the fight for cheating. Real talk, I'm gonna always mention his name because it reminds me of what Antonio Margarito attempted to do against Sugar Shane Mosley. But I'm thinking he may get a big fight with around 5 professional wins. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see with Andy Cruz. I think the fight that what needs to happen at 135 is Andy Cruz and Keyshawn Davis. You know, they have a history together in the Olympics. You know, Eddie Hearns just went live on freaking IG. Let's see, can that fight happen? But I see another flyer out there with Keyshawn fighting somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I like Floyd Schofield's fight last time, but we'll see. Him and Keyshawn need to fight though to settle it. And they keep saying that really Andy Cruz is like 35 years old. They just, you know, once again, you got one of them fighters from over there that they birth certificate say the wrong age. You know what I'm saying? I don't disagree with you, brother, but the money that this generation has brought is levels ahead of what used to be. So Devin is going the right thing by focusing on legacy. I understand we just conversating, bro. It's all good, man. I ain't sitting up here cussing and shit. You know what I'm saying? We just talking boxing. This is the way I look at it. You said, but the money that this generation has brought is levels ahead of what it used to be. Now, this is my question, Holyfield. How is it better than what it used to be if they can't even break into the freaking pay-per-view numbers? I know what the answers is. It's a rhetorical question. We're going to say, well, they're doing way better than what the other generation was doing. And I'm saying they're not even breaking the records. They're not even breaking the pay-per-view records. And I know what people are going to say. It's piracy. It's illegal streaming. Okay. So if it's illegal streaming and we cannot get raw numbers, you know what I'm saying? True numbers to the pay-per-view buys. How are we going to factor in what's better now than yesterday? How are we going to prove that? What evidence do we have to say these numbers are better? What numbers do we have? I know you want it to be that way, but if they're not breaking the records of the pay-per-views that was back then, how can we say money wise they're doing better than the older generation? Now, of course, you talking about per fighter getting paid, yeah, you know, guaranteed money and purses and shit like that. But we talking about pay-per-view, the higher scale. They're not breaking those records that's set up there, man. I mean, nobody ain't touching Floyd, man. Anybody touching Floyd's number yet? I mean, I don't see it. Black Murderers Row can actually help these youngins because folks falling away from the rap game and the craziness on TV, I think. Hey, I know them. I know them hip hop artists trying to go over the Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and be on one of those cars. I know they getting paid well. God damn it, shit. I think Lil Baby was over there, man. I know he walked up out of there with a nice little purse. They go over there and negotiate. Fine, fine, we got you. Just make sure you rehearse. Let us know the stage and everything will be set up at 1700 tomorrow, so you have plenty of time to practice. The sound system and everything will be set up. We have our staff here, and you can do full run throughs. It don't matter how many you do. Man, that's where they're trying to go. The artists are really trying to get into that Riyadh promos over there. For real, that's where the money's gonna be. Cause I don't know how much they get for walking these fighters out over here. Now he's saying great fights aren't Lomachenko and Progress. So Progress fought Taylor for the big fight. Facts. T.O. took out Taylor, and Haney took out Progress. The top. Okay, and let me itemize that because you felt like you broke it down and appreciate your dialogue. Real talk. So let's start with Progress fought Taylor. Yeah, Progress fought Taylor just like Sean Porter fought Kell Brook. You know what I'm saying? He had a title when he walked in the ring, and when he left, that title remained with his opponent. So he went in there and fought Josh Taylor in the World Boxing Series, and he lost. So you trying to give full maximum credit with a freaking upgrade from just a regular check card to a platinum black card, unlimited, because Progress put in an effort to fight Josh Taylor and lost. And then you say T.O. took out Taylor. Okay, T.O. defeated Taylor, who vacated his titles and still had the lineal. I don't see the connect in this. You know what I'm saying? And then you say T.O. took out Haney and Haney took out Progress. What does Haney taking out Progress have to do with Josh Taylor? Because Josh Taylor is long removed from taking Progress' belt. So if you wanted to put that out there, Progress didn't come out the winner on either side of your scenario. Josh Taylor took his belt and freaking Devin Haney took his belt. You could have left T.O. out of it. You could have left T.O. out of it, and you could have left Taylor out of it. You know what I'm saying? Progress is the one that connects to both of them. For when you talk about something that's adverse, Josh Taylor took his WBA title, and then Devin came took his WBC title. And the wild part about it, he didn't even have enough time to really get acclimated to the WBC title, bro. He didn't even have enough time to get acclimated to it and make some good money off of it. It's gone. It's gone, bro. Regis, I guess y'all are looking at the WBC belt as being the senior belt when it's been champions to hold the WBC belt and didn't do anything with it. I know the green belt looks the best, no doubt about it, but it's been champions that held the WBC belt and ain't did nothing with it for I don't know how many years, bro. 2+ years, 2.5+ years. Jamal Charlo was out the ring. did nothing with the WBC title. You know what I'm saying? It's been people that held this belt and they really didn't do shit with it. Devin doesn't need to wait on Tank. When the wins pile up on Devin's record, Tank will be the one pressured into taking a fight. I'm gonna keep it simple. Devin has fought twice since Tank. I disagree that Holyfield. This is why I disagree with that. You buckled up. The reason why I disagree 1,000% of what you just said about Tank will be the one pressured into taking the fight is that you missed that Devin Haney weighed in at 165 on the night of the fight. Did you miss that? So if Tank is still holding that weight down at in between fights, 140, 145, and he's still able to make 135, and he's not struggling, you know what I'm saying? He's still able to make weight, right? Until his weight forces him to 140. It's no guarantee that Haney is going to be able to even come back down from 47. This man is have a growth spurt or something. I don't know if it's the snack supplements or whatever the case may be, but we all know when he stepped in that ring post fight against after Lomachenko, Jermaine Ortiz, when he stepped in there, dude, Lomachenko said, "Oh, this heavyweight division." At first, I criticized Lomachenko for making excuses because you done had every freaking opportunity presented to you. But Devin was big as shit in there against Lomachenko. So you think if Tank is still down here and Devin continue to wins, when he continue to wins, Devin's going to be at 147, 154, bro. He's going to be at 147. Minimum, 147. You think Tank going to have anything to do with that? If he chose to move up to 147, that's what it is. But, Devin can continue to win. Ain't nobody going to pressure Tank to move up to 147 and fight him. He's not going to be at 140, in my opinion, too long. I don't think Devin's going to be at 140 too long, bro. I think Tank's going to flop next fight. Unless he's fighting another TikToker. What? Y'all, man, y'all straight up don't like Tank. God damn. Y'all saying Tank is gonna flop? This man is undefeated. Damn. He's talking about this man's gonna flop, bro. Jesus. So you think he's gonna flop against Isaac Cruz? A fighter that he's fought already. They have film on it. And he's smaller than Tank. So you think Isaac Cruz is going to have a master plan to go in there and get this win? You're talking about someone who continuously load up on the right hand. You're talking about someone who continues to stay in the right guard and walks in to Tank's freaking walks into Tank's kill zone and feels that he's going to get away the same way he did before. He ain't a knockout artist like Tank. He just has very solid, respectable defense, and he has a decent gas tank, and he can load up on right hand after right hand after right hand, and seems to hold his endurance pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? He don't get fatigued like I would think somebody missing as much shots as Isak. But you think he's gonna have a game plan for Tank to flop? I don't see that, Shouty. I don't see it, bro. Yeah, I mean, you can say the WBC, of course, is better than the Reggie belt. Of course. You know what I'm saying? Of course. Bro, I see your comments, man. I see the comments. I'm not going. Look. Do you know how many comments? Look. Find another content creator to actually go through in the chat and respond to your comments. When y'all over there on these other chats, they don't even pay attention to y'all comments. I'm not even monetized. I respond to people comments because it's educational. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I try to tell people this all the time. I go through the comments. I can't get through every comment though, because it's just impossible to get through every comment. Coach Ford and Kenny also know his limitations. That's why they don't want the Shakur fight and Haney fight. I mean, like I said, you have that opinion. I think they're moving him very strategically, and they're doing an outstanding job. You know why? Because he is making millions. So I'm not saying you're wrong on how they are moving him. And due to certain competition, they say, okay, why is he fighting Hector Luis Garcia from 130 pounds, regardless if he's a champion? Why? Hey, the man is still making millions. So you look at the fight he had in January with Hector Garcia, and then you go to the damn Ryan Garcia fight. He defeated 2 Garcias this year in 23 and made millions, bro. Fighting 2 Garcias. He went in there and knocked out 2 Garcias, man. Come on, D Block, D Town, D City, D Ville. He beat 2 Garcias. One of them wasn't your favorite Garcia, but the other one was. Goddamn Tank hit him so hard, he goddamn had to remove the flash suit because it didn't work. He should have wore the Flash costume in there and got out the way of that body shot. He got up from the left hand. I said, okay, that Flash suit worked pretty decent. It got some superpowers to it. And then he got caught. And then all of a sudden, Joe Goose is gonna say, oh, did he hit you in the rib that was, missing? Yeah, he hit me there. I can feel it. It hurt. All of a sudden, his rib is hurting. Okay. Oh, shit. You can have both look at Floyd. Facts. Shakur should be talked about because he actually achieved more than that Cruz dude. I mean, I don't think, Shakur Stevenson gains anything about, Well, check this out. Let me back up. You're talking about Isak Cruz, right? Isak Cruz turned down a lot of fights. Isak Cruz ducked Shakur Stevenson. He didn't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Isak Cruz ducked a lot of fighters because they up there telling people that they got this Gervonta Davis rematch coming up. They ducked it. Point blank period. They said, oh no, we're going to be dedicated and loyal to Tank Davis. And then we want to go up here and fight Yokis Gamboa and shit like that. Man, he ducked so many freaking fighters waiting on Tank. I just lost respect, man. For real, I lost respect. Because you're up here kissing Tank's behind based off of freaking decision loss. And just because y'all hugged it out and said a star was born, yeah. Okay, Tank co-signed you. And somehow you got enamored. And you said, please, please, please. Please just give me a second chance. We need that check. Nah, bro. Nah. You didn't win, man. Yeah. No, I'm not talking about Tank's next pay-per-view doing 1 million pay-per-view buys. I'm just talking about him making money in general. And also, you have to look at it like this. Tank doesn't have to do 1 million pay-per-view. He doesn't have to average 1 million pay-per-view buys to be successful. You know what I'm saying? With everything that's going on with the illegal streaming and all that, he don't need to do 1 million pay-per-view buys to prove he's already doing big numbers on pay-per-view. Tank can do, 600, 700, whatever, 800. People are not going to frown upon it because he's still doing high numbers. People ain't going to frown upon. I mean, what they going to do? What they going to stop? They can't stop it. They can't stop shit. You know what I'm saying? They can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? The consumers do count. But if the consumers count and they care to support the fighter they support, Why aren't some of these other fighters their numbers even higher? You know, from what I'm hearing, Devin them did like 100 some thousand pay-per-view buys. I don't care anything about that. You know, the only time that really becomes a topic of discussion for me is when people try to say what a fighter deserves. I say, well, it seems like the consumer don't think you deserve for them to come pay to see you fight. You know, but you got their fans up here that's saying, oh, this fighter deserves to be here. This fighter deserves to fight so and so. Why? Because they're in the same division. Boxing is a business. Once again, boxing is a freaking business, bro. What's good that is Tank knows he has some, you know, some advocates that's not in his, you know, support circle. You know what I'm saying? That's throughout, man. That's throughout boxing, for real. You know what I'm saying? That shit's funny. What's going on, Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more? The OG, what's good? What's good with it, Bruce? I see you. Yankee on deck, man. What it do? Let me ask you this question: who has the better fights, Haney versus Lomachenko, or Prograis versus Tank versus Hector? Bringing up in weight and fighting Ryan rehydration fight. I want to see your answer to this one. I mean, a lot of I'm trying to decipher what you're typing. So you say, let me ask you a question: who has the better fights, Haney versus Lomachenko? Who has the better to fights, Haney versus Lomachenko and Prograis, or Tank versus Hector, bringing up in weight and Ryan? Well, you asked me who has the better fights, right? Who has the better fights will be Tank with the Hector because he stopped. And you asked me who has the better fights. Now, if that's an open, broad question on, well, who had the better fights, as far as the belts on the line or whatever the case may be, that's a very open-ended question. Who had the better fights? If you're talking about money, it'll be Tank. Who had the better fights as far as conclusions, results? That'll be Tank. If you want to talk about who has the better fights as far as their opponents and the accolades that they presented as a professional fighter, well, Lomachenko will hold the heavy weight on that. He will hold the entire anchor on that, being a two-time Olympian, three-division, champion, unified, and to that nature right there, okay? But Lomachenko has somewhat fizzled to say that, okay, Haney, he fought Lomachenko and he's still a big deal. Well, Tio, that's Tio's leftovers, right? That's Orlando Salido's leftovers, right? So fighting an older opponent that has lost in big matches and also sat down on his ass by Linares, you know what I'm saying? The one who petitioned to become the franchise belt to fight Tio. I mean, that's a broad question. But, that my answer is what it is. It's still Tank. Because you're going off, let's go off accolades. If you want to go off accolades, right, you're going to say that you got a three-division champion, and then you got a two-time champion in Progress. And then you want to go Tank. You say, oh, wait, Hector, he has championship at 130, right? And Ryan has no championship. So that's a broad-ass question to know where you're trying to go with the better fights. The better fights as far as the revenue generated, or better fights as far as the opposition, the quality of opposition, and the accolades that they bring to the fight to the table in the fight. If we're talking about that, when we talking about the opponents and the quantification or the appraising value of Lomachenko's accolades compared to Progress, then Haney fought the better fighters with the accolades. Haney did. Because Lomachenko, multi-division champion, multi-titles, and Progress multi-time world champion. And we want to quantify that. But we're talking about Tank and the lack of championships, as far as the numbers that equates to Haney's opponents, then he would lose out on that. You know what I'm saying? He would come in number 2 with that. But when you talk about money generated, it's not even close. When you're talking about boxing being a business and the revenue generated between the two fights, man, it's not even close, bro. I'm talking about the amount of money that these fighters made. It's not even close. It's not even close, man. That's a broad question, though, bro. When Butterball do 600,000, besides we'll pull out of fights, right? Oh, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a broad question, man. I mean, it's a solid question, though. But I'm just looking at it like credential for credential. Lomachenko and Progress definitely supersedes that of Hector Garcia and Ryan Garcia, obviously. But when you don't talk about money and revenue or something like that, pay-per-view, shit like that, then we talking about a whole another level. You know what I'm saying? We know Ryan Garcia ain't did jack except win a freaking WBC interim title. Then Hector Garcia, stepped up a division to try his hand at whatever after feeding Roger Gutierrez. And he couldn't see. He couldn't come out the corner and shit. And then his last fight, he go in there, obviously still having PTSD from Tank, and he gets stopped. I'm like, what? No way, bro. But, give it up to Roach. Give it up to Roach. I ain't gonna take shit away, bro. Roach put that funk on him. I wasn't expecting that. Seriously. I ain't gonna lie. I can't fake it. I had freaking Hector Garcia winning that fight, bro. But goddamn it, Lamont Roach, man, came in there and goddamn stiffed his ass, man. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about strictly boxing. So Haney, okay. So now you're talking about strictly boxing. Now you're talking about strictly boxing. Haney, period. Lomachenko and Haney skills, we already seen that. Right? So even though Lomachenko anchors heavy on one fight, it kind of goes down the drain when you go to Progress because Progress didn't do shit. But still, when you talk about Lomachenko, you can say, okay, Lomachenko gave us the 12 rounds, and we know it was going to be a tactical boxing match. And so when it comes to that with the triangle effect, Haney with Lomachenko, Progress is Haney. Because when you look at the deficiencies of Ryan Garcia, we thought he would be clear of overemphasizing the lead left hand. We thought what he did in his last fight, we was going to see with Tank. And we didn't see that. We still seen him over freaking shooting the left hand and shit. So he got dropped, got back up, and got stopped. But then you go over here to Hector Garcia. Hector Garcia wanted to stand there in the pocket and trade and try to wait on Tank. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? It worked for a second. He showed how he was going to fight Tank at the weigh-ins on the face-off. It was the stupidest shit ever, bro. He said, I'm going to stand there with this somewhat semi-Philly shell and wait for you to come in and counter you. And then finally he got caught. Motherfucker couldn't see out of his eye. So that's Haney all day if you're talking about strictly boxing. Hector Garcia and Ryan Garcia? Hell no. Nah. They don't, no. It'd be strictly Haney, Lomachenko, and Progress on that shit right there. But you didn't word it. You didn't word it like that. You said better 2 fights. You didn't say strictly boxing. But good question. Good question. But my people, it's been a while since I've been on 2.5 hours, you know, this long before. But I appreciate y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to D Block, man, for coming over here. You know, I always hear you call in the boxing voice and drop your freaking calls or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you pulling up, man. Vander Holyfield, Marlon King Boxing, Bruce Gas Boxing, Jazz, some more the OG, Jessica, Andrew Charles, Big Blunts in Boxing, Mr. Gumbo, a.k.a. Hot Grease, Dub 100, Carlos Rosado, Showtime Shaw News, Dr. Paul, Victor Alvarez, Tyrese was on deck. Appreciate all y'all pulling up, man. We'll do it again. Appreciate the comments, the interaction, and all that. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out, man. And once again, shout out to the hottest chat in the MFN game. A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period.
Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best, you gotta show me son. Actions over words, baby boy, is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come back. Sports, talking way too much, world come back. Sports, talking way too much, world come back. Sports, sports, sports,
Hey, what you got to say there, champ? Yeah, man. What's up, Black? Hey, Deontay, what you got to say? What you got to say? To this day! To this day! To this day! Believe it! Can I get some love? Deontay, World Combat Sports. Hey, World Combat Sports, Deontay, what you got to say, champ?